How's it going, everybody? Jeff here with JB Jones Properties. Just out here riding around the fields, checking some game cameras. Uh, just want to talk to you a little bit about buying property. If you're looking to buy property, there's several things you need to know. First off, you need to know what that I need to know is what you're going to do with the property. Uh, are you looking for just a acre in the country, or are you looking for several acres for a mini farm or something to hunt or recreation? What plays a lot into what you're wanting, and just because it's land and it's maybe cheaper, don't mean that it'll be cheaper in the long run. Uh, you got to consider your well, and just a quick number off the top of my head, you're looking at about $10,000 for 200 feet. Anything over 200 feet, you'll be looking at a per foot price. Septic tanks, you can get in, several $1,000s or up to tens of thousands of dollars, depending on where you're at and what kind of system you got to have. DHEC will be cheaper, but they're backed up probably 6 to 8 weeks now. You can get a soil scientist out there usually for about $1,200, and he'll give you a layout of the property, what you can and can't do, and usually they're a little bit quicker to get out there and get the job done, depending on how big of a rush you're in. Sometimes you have to take it into consideration when you're making offers, how quick you can get people out. If you want a survey, which I would suggest a survey on every piece of property, those guys can be several weeks out, several months out. Same as, like say your septic people, wells, sometimes it takes a while to get the well people out, but usually they're after you buy the property. So, but still, you need to consider how long it's going to take to get that stuff checked and anything else you want checked. Any kind of soil test, boring test, anything like that. If you're concerned about anything, I live out outside Clover. Some people are concerned about Henry's Knob area. So they may want some more tests done, water test on surrounding wells. What have they found? Anything of that nature. It's always good to ask questions. I definitely recommend a survey. You always want to know where your lines are, especially if you got bigger tracts and you're going to be where your property comes together with somebody else's, so that you don't get over on them or they don't get over on you. Kind of want to head off those problems up front if you can. And another thing you need to consider about property in the country, do you have kids, and how many times are you going to have to go back and forth to the schools and what have you for sports functions? That 15-minute drive out to the country is not a problem when you do it a couple times a week, but when you're having to do it 4 or 5 times in a day, taking your kids to school, picking them up from school, going to recitals or ball games, soccer games, basketball, cheerleading, whatever else is out there, that's when things start becoming a pain in the butt, I guess you would say, because you're always in the road back and forth. So that's something to consider. Another thing to consider out in the country is, just restaurants, grocery stores. Depending on how far out in the country you want to be, it could be going to get a drink might be a major drive. If you're used to living in the city and you get thirsty and want a drink, 2 minutes you've got one in your hand, it might be, 15 minutes before you can even get to a store. And out in the country, a lot of those country stores, they close up at dark. They don't stay open late at night like these do in town. So you got to take that into consideration when you move out into the country. There's all kind of stuff. People shoot out here, they hunt, they ride four-wheelers. And if that's something you don't want to put up with, I would suggest you not head this way, because that's what we do out here. That's why most of us are out here. And once again, if you got any questions about land, definitely give me a shout. You can get a hold of me at 704-582-0781, or you can email me at jbjonesproperties@gmail.com. Once again, this is Jeff at JB Jones Properties. Nice seeing y'all today. Talk to you later.